Okay. Hi, everybody. So I've been asked a lot because I play a lot of different baseball games, a lot of different sports, period, in the cards and dice area. Which ones do I like best? Which are good? What's the pricing? There's a lot that goes on, and so before I even get into all this, um, yeah, I think it's really important that everyone understands this is just my opinion. That's what's great about this community. We all have our own opinions. Somebody else might like a different game better than I do. I talk about this all the time about how you need to connect with the game. I think that's really important. I can't tell you if you're going to connect to a game. So a game that's $70 over that costs per season for cards over a game that's $30, you might connect to the $30 game better. So connecting is, still to me the most important thing, but breaking down how all these have done for me personally, I thought maybe I'd share that information. So if I'm wrong about any of this stuff, please put it in the comments because some of these games I haven't played for a little bit. I tried to do a little bit of research and make sure I was pulling up the latest pricing and availability. And then some of the other things are just from my remembrance of playing the games myself. So let me just jump right in. The games that I listed out here are APPA. I have a ton of APPA. Strat-o-matic. I played this to nauseum as a child, between the ages of probably, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a ton of it. And then I started to play it again when I got back into things back in my early 50s. So I'm still playing it every now and then. Payoff pitch, anybody who follows me knows this is my game. Not my game, like I don't own it, but this is my game, the one that I connected with. I have definitely connected with Payoff Pitch. Inside Pitch is a newer game for me that I bought this year that I'll talk about, as is Season Ticket, another new game this year that I've added to my repertoire. Dynasty and Pursue the Pennant, same thing. I bought those maybe 5 years ago, I want to say. So I'll talk about that. History Maker Baseball, a completely different game than all the rest. I'll explain that. I bought that maybe, 4 or 5 years ago at least. Replay, I did play that as a kid and bought some more of it just maybe a year or two ago. And then Status Pro, definitely played that a lot as a kid too. Just tried to get back into it a little bit, so I'll talk about that. Let me go through these and just kind of talk about the columns that I put in here. I know cost is important. So these are cost per season that I found basically on their websites, or that I've paid pretty much in the past. Whether or not the second column is all about, do they card all the players, which any of you who do as played replays, this is probably your most important column. Those of you don't even care about this, probably. The quality of the cards, that's becoming a little bit more important to me as I do replays. I'm starting to see that when you're trying to shuffle through a lineup, when you're playing cards and dice and you've got crappy paper, it's not quality cards, it makes a difference in trying to do a replay or just even messing with the game. So I think that's important. Service. Some of these I rated and some of them I didn't. And that's just based on my interaction with the company. That's all it is. Again, not overall everybody's, my interaction with those companies. And I'll explain it. Lefty, righty. Do they have that option in the game? Are their cards separated by lefty, righty? Is that option there if that's important to you? Pitcher versus hitter interaction. I think that this is becoming a bigger thing that a lot of people talk about. I'll talk more about how each game handles pitcher versus hitter interaction, because I think it's important. Seasons, do they have every season you could imagine, or do they just have some and they're on their way up of making more? So I kind of talk about that because I think that's important if you're getting into the gaming or you're thinking about switching, whatever you're using now. And then the last one, oh, it didn't completely come out there, is kind of a newer one. It doesn't matter as much to me, but I've noticed it's seeming to matter to other people, which is interaction with software. And when I mean, do they have their own software? Not, I mean, there's Ball Score out there, it interacts with everything. But does this vendor have its own software that you can interact with the cards with? So that's kind of where I was going with that. And then I have a lot of asterisks because there's just a lot of these things. It's kind of a not as simple as the rest. So let's jump in. Let's go right with the first one, APPA, the cost. As you can see, it's $90 per season. That's not cheap, but that's been their pricing. And anybody who does any kind of review on APPA will always tell you they're the highest price out there. Although you will see some in here that are a little more expensive than them, but not many. But APPA's been on the market a long time. So, but that second column of carding all, that's why they're so expensive. Because in baseball, again, I'm just talking about baseball here. You know, they card all the cards or everybody who played. So, you know, more product, more pricing. The quality of the cards, they're good. They're not great. They're not amazing, but they're not poor or below average. They're just good cards. There's service. This is where I'm going to go into the poor category. One of the few that I've been have had poor service with, maybe the only one I've ever had poor service with. They just don't answer their emails. When you have a problem, they answer eventually, not answer your emails or have an area where you can contact them. Like many of these developers that are on here and gamers, you could talk straight to the owner of the place. But APPA, you can't. APPA, you can't get an answer from. I can't get an answer from. And so it's really started me to not want to use it, to be honest with you. And that's a shame because I played it so much as a kid, and it's the first thing I jumped back into when I got back into cards and dice. I got to count them 18 seasons, somewhere close to that of APPA. And just unfortunately lately it's not gone well for me. Do they have left or right? Now I've got my one of my first asterisks there, number 2. They do, but it requires some advanced play, and it's not like you would get it in most games with the interaction. It's just in the advanced play module, and you got to look at the bottom of the card, and it's there, but you're not going to get it in the basic game. And then pitcher versus hitter, yes, because the pitchers are rated, you know, A, B, C, D, and you start there, and then you get to the batter's card. And so to me, they meet my desire for the pitcher versus hitters. Seasons, APPA has everything, which is what brings most people to them. They rarely are out of stock. They're always reissuing, so they're kind of recarding, and they come up with a newer game that includes more, even in the basic, more strikeout ratings of the pitchers, and have updated their booklet. So it's got everything's there. And then on the interaction, I put yes because they have a program called APPA Go, which I didn't like when it came out because like the statistics were all wrong. It wasn't giving saves correctly. The ERAs were messed up. I've heard through channels, because I still follow it all, that they fixed a lot of that. I don't think it interacts with the cards though. I don't think, somebody can correct me here. Again, I haven't used it in a long, long time. I don't think you could like play your cards and dice and enter the results into APPA Go. I think it does it for you, but I could be wrong. So that's APPA. Strat-o-matic is next. Strat, going to cost you anywhere from 55 to 80. And that 55 is the basic set. I think they give you like 24 cards. And then you can get, you know, for another $20, you can get extra players, which you're still not filling out the all players, which is the next area. It does not card all players, which is what moved me away from Strat, because I do replays. if I was doing a tournament or something, replaying a World Series or something, Strat's a great game for that. But I can't do replays with them because they don't card all the players. Quality of the cards, they're good. They're big. They're bigger than everybody else's, which can cause an issue on your desk. If you have limited desktop space like I do. But if you're also getting older, like I am with eyesight visions, it's nice to have the bigger cards. So that's going to come down to what you like or don't like. I didn't put anything in for the service because I've never had problems with Strat-o-matic, but I've never really had any reason to contact them. So I don't know how their service is. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's good. Or I'm not going to sit here and say it's bad because I don't know. Lefty right splits. Yes, but you have to go to the back of the card. They have a card for that is the basic game, and then the back card that you turn sideways has the advanced game, and that has the lefty righty splits. There is no interaction between the pitcher and the hitter, in my opinion. Rolling a 1, 2, 3 puts you, I think, in the pitcher's card, 4, 5, 6 on the batter's card. That is not interaction. It's just a dice roll. And so there's no interaction between the pitcher and the hitter, in my opinion. So seasons, I checked the website today actually, and it's showing 19, 20 and up. But I did also see a lot of seasons missing. If you're looking for Strat, you're going on eBay to get the seasons, a lot of the seasons, if they're not available on there, and you can pay pretty big pricing on there. Because the community knows you can't get it from Strat, so they jack the price up, like they're baseball cards or something. It's ridiculous sometimes. Yet another reason why I don't really do Strat anymore. Strat also has a couple of different pieces of software. They're baseball for Windows. I used to own that a long time ago. And then they also have something called Max that's coming up. I have not messed with that yet. Maybe one day I'll take a look at that and do a video on it. Up third is my personal favorite, Payoff Pitch. They range anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks. It depends on the season because, as you guys know, older seasons, you don't have as many cards. Newer seasons, we've got, 60 players per team. It's crazy. So it's going to cost you more. But it's 30 and somewhere between 30 and 60. They card every player. There's not a player not carded by Payoff Pitch. The quality of the cards are amazing, in my opinion. It's up there with a couple others. They're just nicely done. It's the card stock that I like so much. It feels great in my hand. It's easy to flip through the batters. I never have a problem. They don't stick together like I have with other games. It's just easy to flow with them, and there's some color to them. I like the statistics that are on them. Everything that they do has been amazing on their stuff. Their service, amazing. You can get a hold of the owner. You can talk to him. You can, you have an issue, he fixes it really quick. Again, and I get it. Payoff Pitch is not APPA, right? But at the same point, I don't know how many people are working at Payoff Pitch. I think it's just one guy. He might have a couple people helping him out. I have no idea. But if you're APPA and you're a gigantic company, if you're Strat, you're a gigantic company, you should have enough people working for you to handle your customer service. And so, again, my experience has been amazing with Payoff Pitch. Lefty righty, absolutely. I did asterisk that on the lefty righty for Payoff Pitch because they give you the option to buy cards that are not lefty righty split. If you just want the full combined thing, you can do that. So they're based on the card that you buy from them. And then the pitcher versus hitter. Yes, you start out, the pitcher tells you basically what you're doing. Are you going to look at a ballpark card? Are you going to look at, is it in play? Did he throw it to his wheelhouse? There's a patient, there's a tough, was he really tough on the hitter? And now you got the interaction between the hitter. Now you get to his card. How does he handle a tough pitch? How does he handle something thrown in his wheelhouse? So to me, this has some of the best pitcher hitter interaction you're going to get in a game. Yet another reason why I love Payoff Pitch. The seasons, I noticed he has about 1921 and up. There's going to be some in there missing. You have to check their website. But there are a lot of great seasons in there, and he's working constantly to add new ones. So being a newer game, he's doing quite well, in my opinion, at getting a lot of seasons up. There is no software interaction for Payoff Pitch. Again, what I mean by that is he doesn't have his own software that you can just play Payoff Pitch computer software and use cards against it. You can take the cards and you can play them against some of these others that are out there now, but it's not coming from Payoff Pitch. Next up is a newer game called Inside Pitch, newer to me. Inside Pitch, which I bought this year, actually, like within the last month, I think. Their pricing is about 50 to 80. Now on the carding for these, you don't get all the cards. You have to download the fringe players. So you don't get them all, but they are all available. So that's why I kind of said yes, but with an asterisk. You have to do the download. The quality of the cards, to me, what came was average. I did have trouble moving between them. They kind of stuck together. And because the cards weren't, really nice card stock, they were average stock, in my opinion. This is probably something I can improve on my own. And all these games, a lot of these games, except maybe APPA and Strat, offer PDFs, which allows you to take them to some other place and have it done. And the PDF obviously is a lot cheaper than having them printed by the company. So I wouldn't take too much from the cost and the quality of the cards. Sometimes depends on you. So it depends on, is that important to you? If it is important to you, sometimes you can upgrade your own cards, and people do that all the time. But you can't do that with APPA or Strat. I know there's people out there doing their own APPA cards. They're not supposed to be, unless it's for your own personal use, but you're not supposed to sell them. Same thing with Strat. So anyway, continuing on with Inside Pitch. Service, again, don't know, just bought some from them. I got the cards right away. No, I had no issues. It wasn't great and wasn't bad. A left-right split. Yep, you have a left-right split on theirs. And there is a pitcher hitter interaction with them, which I liked. That worked. As far as their cards or on seasons they had on their website, it looked like 1956 and up. I didn't see a lot missing. It seemed like he had pretty much hit them all. So that's good. Again, did not see any software though for Inside Pitch. I think there's software on their website that they do other things like fast sims and things like that. But I didn't see something specific for Inside Pitch. I might be wrong though. Next up is another game that I really like, and I'm going to dive deeper into over the next year, I'd say, and that's season ticket baseball. Their pricing is anywhere, I noticed, from $69 to $108 on their website. But I've never ordered from season ticket from a card perspective. So that's why I put an asterisk there. I've only bought their PDF and then printed them out based on his Clay, the owner, his recommendations. He gives you some fantastic recommendations on how to get things printed out. I've always had trouble. I'm an IT guy, and I've always had trouble getting printouts to work just right. I went out and bought a whole new printer. I needed one, but I had to go buy it just to make these work. But once I got that new printer and I got Clay's instructions on how to print, they printed perfectly. But again, this is one of those ones where I'm going to say, I probably, his cardstock that he recommended that are perforated and easy to kind of tear. Again, they were just like Inside Pitch, almost exactly the same cards, the same stock. When I do my next one, I'm going to try and upgrade because I really like this season ticket game. I put great for service because you can get to Clay. Clay is, to me, he's a guy who makes himself available. You guys probably see him on all kinds of different um, forums and Facebook and different areas. He's always around, and loves to hear feedback from his games, and he's on videos listening to us. So um, there's a lot of that. I'm sorry, I am not paying attention to the chat as Dave stops by. Yeah, everyone does have their favorite for sure. For sure. Hopefully, if you don't own any of these games, maybe I'm giving you some ideas of what the others have out there. And I'm not going to call you Uncle Dave because I think I'm older than you. So other people call you Uncle Dave. I'm just going to call you Dave. So Dave's here with the pros and cons. Absolutely. That's why I'm kind of throwing this out there as as I'm going through this. Hopefully I am talking pros and cons here of each of these. Dave kind of resets me there saying that the price of the cards are 59 to 79. So what did I say? I hadn't gotten to Dynasty yet. That was my next one. Yeah, I put an asterisk there on the Dynasty cards because that was kind of what I saw on the website, but I wasn't sure. So I'm glad you set that good. And then Ron talking about try triple play. Okay, Ron, I'm going to try triple play. Take a look at that. Dave, inside pitch is hardcore and needlessly complex. I hear you, Dave. I actually liked it. I think, Dave, this goes back to connecting. I connected with inside pitch. I connected with payoff pitch. I know you're struggling with payoff pitch. Like you didn't connect with with APPA football either in the beginning. And then you worked with some people in the community and eventually you got connected. And now, hopefully I'm not talking out of turn. You're saying it's your favorite game now. So I think sometimes, we have to give things a chance. But, at some point you do have to drop something and say, there's just too many games out there. And I'm just talking about baseball right now. There's football out there, hockey. I know you love your hockey, Dave. And there's all these different ones that are out there. And so how long do we stay with something before we just feel like we're never going to get connected? So for me, I connected with them. And then Dave says, season ticket baseball, the easiest PDF to print. Absolutely. I had to buy another printer though, but I think my printer was crappy. And I wanted to get one anyway. So it gave me an excuse to go buy one. And the second I printed it out with the new one with the card stock that Clay said, it worked perfect. I just don't like the cards, Dave. They're too, it doesn't have that nice gloss that you get from like payoff pitch. But again, I can change that. I can do my own cards, or I can take it to, one of the printers and have them do it. Or it looks like on his website, he offers some and they did look glossy. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to contact Clay and see if they are glossy. But let me continue on. So with season ticket, I think I was on the pitcher versus hitter. They definitely an interaction between the two. Season ticket had things from 1910 and up. So, and I know Clay is relentless. He used to own Baseball Mogul, one of the first baseball games I ever bought. And he'll have every season up there in no time. I don't know if I didn't see a interaction, but I know, like, again, this is one of those one season ticket. Dave is one of those people who utilizes, I think it's Dynasty, Dave, that you use. And you use whatever game you want. You can use payoff pitch against it. You can use any game against them. So, but I don't think that he's made one 4-season ticket specifically. So jump into the next one, Dynasty. So I got corrected there by Dave on the pricing. So let me on the fly here correct that since it's between 60 and 80. I think you said, yeah, 60 and 80. Maybe Dave can correct me or finish me out here. I don't know, Dave Solinsky, whether or not they carded all the players. I have older sets, and I'm pretty sure they're there, but I'm not 100% positive. The cards, again, they're that wonderful card stock, and they're colored. The colors on these are amazing. I really like the quality of the cards you get from Dynasty. I haven't had any interaction really with the service of the company. Anytime I've ordered, I get them in the time I expected to get them. So I kind of leave that out because I just haven't really interacted with them a whole lot. Left to right splits, it's there in that game. So yep, that's available. Pitcher versus hitter. Again, maybe I'm going to get corrected here because I have not used Dynasty in a while. But if I'm correct, it's like it's 3 dice, I believe, and it's like 100 or 0 to 499 is the batter's card, and 500 and above is the pitcher's card. And there might be something in there with the ballpark. But that's not interaction for me. You're not going off the pitcher's card to get to the hitter's card. That's what I'm talking about here. Again, that may not matter to people. I'm just pointing it out because some people have said it does matter to them. So I don't see it, but again, maybe I'll get corrected if I'm wrong. And then Dave chimes in and says, no, they don't card everyone, typically 40 ABs or more. Yeah, and I think I marked that somewhere, that somebody had 40 ABs or more. Here it is. That was 15. I don't know who that was. Replays like that. You got to have so many innings or at bats, even to make their extras. Okay, so that's that one. Dynasty obviously has its own software interaction, definitely there. Next up, History Maker Baseball. Now, anybody who's played this before knows that history, all the play games, it's PLAAY, go to play.com. They are different. It's a completely different approach to all games. It's all based on you don't have numbers. You're using dice, but you're using qualities, and it's an interactive story. Is how the game works out. I struggle to use it for a replay. I tried. I really did. I tried to do a season with them, and I just couldn't get it to connect for me for a replay. But I love the game because it's so different. It includes umpires. You feel like you're at a ballpark when you're playing that game. But I just, again, for a replay where I'm trying to turn out games, it didn't connect. Plus, it has a lot of charts. It is chart driven, completely chart driven for the most part. And I'm more about having the cards and dice in my hand and or fast action cards, and it didn't click for me. For a replay, and as played replay, it didn't. But their pricing is good on their cards. On History Maker Baseball, they have 2 different sets of cards now that they're starting to offer up. One is they call Classic, and they're straight black and white, and they're these little cards. I'm telling you, and that was another thing that was kind of a turnoff for me. They're too small. The cards are too small. They're flimsy. It doesn't work for me. Now, again, they do PDFs, so I can fix that thing for me. I just haven't tried yet. They do have some colored versions. They call them the XL colored versions, bigger cards. They look really nice, but they didn't card everybody. So it is like, oh, this is exciting. No, it's not for me, at least. But again, maybe I can expand that. I don't know if they offer the color version in Excel with all the players, and then I can print my own out. I don't know. I'd have to look deeper. The colored ones looked really cool though, from what I saw. And I bought some. I bought I think it was a 1970 Orioles. There was a special set, or 1970 season, I think it was, or something like that. And they look really nice. And Dave's saying that HMB didn't click for you. Yeah. It's because it's completely different. I think you should play a tournament with it, Dave, or just one game with because it is definitely different. Anyway, but I understand it does not click for a lot of people. Their service is amazing. You can talk to them. Their owner is easy to get a hold of on Facebook. He's out there talking a lot. He does tons of videos. They're easy to talk to. yeah, I've had great experiences with them. Their lefty righty is kind of built into the game itself. At points, it'll ask you if it's a lefty batter. I don't know that it's real lefty righty matchup, if I remember correctly. It's kind of built into it. There is a pitcher versus hitter, because when you first roll, you start with the pitcher values on their card, and it either directs you straight to the batter's card, or sometimes we'll just solve it on the pitcher's card, which I don't know that you're getting that full interaction, but you're getting some. So I just said yes, because you're getting some at least. Now on their cards, I noticed it, unless I saw something wrong, and I looked at this morning, there's only 1980 and above, and they were missing a lot in there. So there were some seasons below that, but basically 80 and up. I think they had like a 1954 season, maybe. If I remember, I looked at so many sites today. But I was surprised they didn't have more seasons. But Play has so many different games that, I don't know where history maker baseball falls in the idea of their progression to have everything every season. And I don't think Play has any software versions that are out there for you to download and utilize with the cards. Replay, 50 and up are their cards. And theirs are a little different. They have these extra players, they have what's called tall cards for their pitchers, and then they have ballpark cards, and you can do a 1d6 or 2d6. There's different ways to do them, so it depends on what you buy from Replay. I played the season, I think last year. Not a full season. I played a team out, I believe, using their cards. I thought it was pretty cool. And another game that I want to get back to. Now their cards, the problem, that's why I didn't do a Replay season. Their extra cards are about $30, and they didn't look like they carded anybody above 30 at bats or 20 innings pitched. So that was a negative. The quality of the cards were good, though. I did like the cards in Replay. Again, never really dealt with their service. They do have a left to right split in their cards. They have a pitcher versus hitter interaction. And now seasons, these went all the way back to 1908 and up. There are some missing, but they do go way back, which are nice. And then Replay has their own software that's out there that you can interact with the cards. So that's definitely out there. And then last, this is probably one of the most complicated ones to talk about. I loved old Status Pro when I was a kid, man. 2.6, 2.7, 2.8. If you're a 2.9 pitcher, woo, man. And the home runs were in that 31 to 38 range. You were an amazing home run hitter. We played that game out as a kid. And of course, Avalon Hills, basically went away, left the rights open to anybody to use. And now it's kind of all over the place. That's what I wrote with this game. There are advanced versions out there. There's reproduced versions out there. There is reprinted versions out there. Everything's pretty much on eBay for you to buy. They can get very expensive. I bought a season just to see it again. Despite my love for Status Pro, the advanced game did not click for me. Not sure I gave it enough time, but did not click for me. And in fact, I just won on eBay. I think it was 1989. I had like 86, 87, the actual game boxes, the blue ones. But I just won, I think it's 89, and it was red. The box was red, completely different year. The original by Avalon Hill. And that's the game I like to play. The negative on them is I think every card is there, but I'm not 100% positive. The quality of the cards, again, the old ones. I'm not talking about the new advanced version. The the old Status Pro cards were like History Maker Baseball, very small little cards. They were a little bit more nicer cardstock, but they're real small. Again, this is something you can play around with if you do connect with the game and you do end up liking the advanced version. There's a lot out there. It's a big community. But for me, the advanced just didn't connect. I put NA for service because you don't have a company to go to. You got individual people out there selling it. Left to right, again, because the game's all over the place, it depends on the version you're playing, whether you're going to get left or right on it. A pitcher hitter, yes, because like I said, you get the 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, or some of the new games or some of the new advanced ones, I think all the way down to 2.4. But you got to hit that first. If you hit that, you go to the pitcher's card. If not, he releases to the batter card. So it does have an interaction. Seasons, again, all over the place. My guess is you can probably get any season you want because there's all these people out there trying to sell it on eBay. You can probably, even if it's the season you want is not out there, contact one of those guys. They'll probably build it for you. And then software interaction. I noticed today as I went out and looked that Status Pro actually has a Status Pro computer version with the cards. I didn't know about this. It looks pretty interesting. I have not touched it. It was showing the cards, so I don't know if you can play the game again and on cards and dice and enter your result. But I did notice there is something out there. So there is something out there for Status Pro. Again, this is my review of the games I have, my interaction with them, what I see with them. Everybody has their own opinion, and I still say the most important thing you have to take away from playing cards and dice, and no matter what sport you're doing, is connect with the game. You may connect with the most expensive game, you may connect with the cheapest game, but you got to look at what you're looking for. Whether you're an as play replay guy, whether there's two different kind of replay people. There is replaying an entire season, and you make decisions throughout the whole thing. You're just going to take a 9-man lineup that you're going to create. You're going to set the bullpen. You're going to set the starting rotations. You're going to decide whether or not you make trades or don't make trades that happen. Maybe you're going to start with players that didn't start with the team that season. All those things are up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. But that's so to you, to that person, that style of replayer, they may or may not matter to them whether they have all the players. An as played replay guy like me, I want every player who played that day. I want a card for them because I'm going to use them. Probably going to use them. It could have pinch hit or pinch ran, and the situation may not come up for them to actually get into the game. So I may not ever use them. I just want the card they played that year. I want to have the availability of the card to use during that game to pitch or hit. So to me, I need them. You may be a tournament player where you are setting the lineups. There is no as played. You may want to just replay a World Series or a playoff game or playoff series, and you might not need all the players. So you got to figure out what you're doing and what you want out of the game, and then you go look at what matters to you. And do you want to use an interaction with software? Are you going to just do paper and pencil? Are you going to use ball score and ball stat like I use? That's all I use. Are you? So all these things kind of matter when you're making your decision of what game you want to buy. And for a lot of us, that means we buy a lot of games because we might cross over to doing all those things. And so one game that works for a replay may not work for what you want to do for something else. So that's about all I got. Just wanted to throw that out there and share my thoughts on all these different games. If you have thoughts, please drop them in the comments. And I love that somebody dropped in there. Ron dropped in about triple play. First thing I'm going to do after I hang this up, Ron, is go take a look. I want to throw one more game out there that I bought that I just did not understand what I got. And that was Pocket Pocket Pennant or something like that. I ordered it and I got like 6 cards, and it literally was about this big. And I was like, what? It was in a little, I don't have the case here in front of me. I think I put it away or maybe even threw it away. And they gave me a pencil, a little pencil about this big. I'm like, what the heck did I order? I don't know. It must have been me. I must have ordered something wrong. It's something I want to look up again because I noticed there are some people playing it. But I didn't. I saw that and just threw it in the corner. I was like, what the heck? I don't even know what I ordered. So that's another game that I want to take a look at. And Dave's saying, nice job. Thanks, Dave. That means a lot, actually, coming from you, seriously. And Justin stops by, says it's based on Pursue the Pennant Dynasty League and is available for free. Oh, there you go. So there's a lot of games out there that are free. There's a lot of games out there. If you go to their websites, they offer demos. They offer free seasons, not free seasons, but maybe free teams to try the game out. So do your research, figure out what works for you, try the games out. And eventually you're going to connect with one. I cannot believe that the 15 or so games that are out there for baseball that you can't connect at least one. You may connect with several like I do. But all right, that's about it. Thanks again for coming.